So I thought I'd do a quick video to update everyone on the latest position with the orange water in the harbour at Whitehaven. So the first thing to say is there's been lots of conversations at the task force that I chair about where the source of this water, this ochreous coloured water, is coming from. To be honest, there's so many possible places that it could be coming from that it's not really going to be possible to answer that question. And actually the issue really now is about the culvert over there, which is where the water's coming out of, and making sure that the water gets either filtered or diverted or both, so that we don't have a harbour that looks like this. So since the election, I've chaired the harbour task force, and the partners that have been involved in that are the Town Council here in Whitehaven, Cumberland Council, the harbour commissioners, as well as national agencies like the Environment Agency, the Mining Remediation Authority and Network Rail. We've also had some great advice from others, including local business leaders as well. And together we have done some really good work, which I want to give you a bit of an update on now. The first is that the track in the Branstey Tunnel, the railway tunnel over there, has, we think, acted as a bit of a filter on the water for the last few years, both the track and the ballast. So basically water's come into the tunnel, the ochreous content has settled, and then clean water's come out. And then basically we think that that got overwhelmed 2 years ago, which is why the water started to turn orange. I have fought really hard to make sure, as of the task force, to make sure that Network Rail prioritise the track and ballast replacement in that tunnel as soon as possible, because it is likely to improve the water quality coming out and address, at least in the short term, this issue of the ochreous water. Now, Network Rail have given us a date in August, which I'll post the details of below this video. It's in late August, and that's been expedited by Network Rail because we realise how big an issue this is with having the orange water in the harbour. So that's the first thing. The second is actually that we need a longer term solution to this problem as well. So even if the track and ballast, when they get replaced, effectively start to filter the water, it could get clogged up again, and in a few years we'll be right back to square one with orange water. So there's a few options. One, which I think is a non-starter just because the cost would be too high, is a big water filtration system that would require lots of land, and it would cost well in excess of £20 million plus about £1 million annual costs to run. I'm just going to be candid with people and say that that's not going to happen. So what I've worked with the Mining Remediation Authority, the body that used to be called the Coal Authority, what they have come up with is a £1 million scheme to divert the water from the culvert there out to sea. Now, what that would mean is that if there was ochreous water coming out in the future, which isn't hazardous, it's just not very attractive and it causes problems for boats and tourism in the area. What that would mean is that the water would be diverted out to sea, as it does along the coast actually. There are other spots in West Cumbria where ochreous water goes out to sea, and because that would not be in a harbour, the sea and the tide would be able to take it out very easily. So that is a good solution. It's an affordable one, I believe, and actually I'm doing a lot of work at the moment with all of those agencies to try and fund that scheme, that £1 million solution. I'll keep people updated on that. But the two things together, the track and ballast replacement from Network Rail, which is happening this summer, post the details below. The second being a diversion, a £1 million diversion to take the water from that culvert so that it instead goes out to sea, means that we should be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak, on this issue and clean up the harbour once and for all.